Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Shangri-La Frontier, episode 46. A bit late, which seems to be the case for pretty much every single episode this season. But as I mentioned, I had some trouble with my cat, pancreatitis. She needed some special food and medicine and taking her to and fro vet. But she's healthy now, or as healthy as a 12-year-old cat can be. So at least she doesn't have pancreatitis. So hopefully from now on I'll be able to post at least Shangri-La a little bit more regularly. We'll see where it goes, of course. There is talks of conscription? Conscription? Yeah, conscription in Poland. So who knows where that's gonna go. But regardless of that, Shangri-La. What happened in the previous episode? We have found our team. Pretty much everybody is now together, except for Rei, right? Yeah, except for Rei. Everybody kind of found each other because Sanraku went to fight a... Well, okay. Sanraku found Emul and Stude, who were being chased by a snake dragon thing. And so Sanraku engaged in combat. The sounds of fighting attracted Rust and Mold. Yeah, Rust and Mold, who went there and helped Sanraku. Did they? Yeah, I think they did. No. Sanraku won against the dragon snake alone. Then Rust and Mold appeared. Then they all had to run from another big boss kind of creature, and that... No. They were all fighting the snake dragon thing. And then Akitsu Akane and Sikru arrived, and yeah, Akitsu Akane and Sikru arrived. They were all running away from that. Sanraku told everybody to run to the hiding place to keep them safe, and he himself stood against the snake and won. And then Roost and Mold appeared. Yeah, that's exactly how it went. Now I remember. Now I remember. And yeah, everybody besides Rei is here because Rei had something to do. We don't know what. She logged out of the game saying sorry to Sanraku in her thoughts. Kind of odd that she wasn't able to send a DM or anything like that, but oh well, maybe there are no DMs in Shangri-La, who knows. And she logged out. We don't know the reason. It sounded like semi-ominous, right? As if whatever she has to take care of is somewhat important, I don't know, something like that. We'll see what that is all about. Maybe, we'll see. And they eventually arrived at the outpost, the hideout, and started to decide who can play the game when, because they only have a limited amount of time, and not everybody plays every day, so they kind of have to maximize it. They figured out a schedule when each of them can play. There's one day that is not covered by anybody. Everybody can be there on the last day of the event, so that's going to be the big climax, perhaps, of the whole entire season. Wouldn't surprise me. And we know that for the next few days, Sanraku won't be able to play because he did, after all, agree to case Oikatsu's pleas to help him during the esports tournament. So I'm willing to bet the next couple of episodes are gonna be esports. Maybe we're gonna take a brief look at what Rei is up to. Maybe we're gonna take a brief look at what's going on in the city down under with other people playing, but it's gonna be mostly Sanraku, Kei, and Towa at the esports tournament. And then the finale is gonna be inside of Shangri-La. That's how I can see it going. We've also met at least one person who's gonna be also important during the tournament. It's do I have her name anywhere here? Don't think I do. No, I do not have her name. Sylvia Goldberg, I do have her name. I think that's her. Yeah, blonde, blue eyes, classic American girl, essentially, and she has some beef with Kay, or at least some sort of a rivalry. So we're gonna see where that goes, right? But to do that, you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, we can start watching episode 46 of Shangri-La Frontier in 3, 2, 1, go. Starting from the OP. Oh, by the way, another season of Frieren has already been announced for the next year, I believe. That one I'm gonna be watching for sure. Hopefully it's another like double core at least. Also, One Punch Man season 3 has also gotten like a, I don't know if it has a trailer or a teaser or just a key visual. I think just a key visual. But that's also been announced. Haven't seen season 2 though, so would be kind of weird watching season 3 without that. Yeah, that's better. Something's up with this like sound controller bit. Like depending on how I turn the volume knob, it either gives sound to my left ear, right ear, or both. Yeah. Okay, so a bit of last time on Dragon Ball Z, eh? Yep. I love Emul. Oh, okay, so, well, that explains things. Yeah. I mean, you could at least have, like, a, Discord server or a WhatsApp group or something. Or, sure, email. Why not? But yeah, probably a good idea to get, like, some out of game ways of communicating with each other. If the game can just disable DMs when you're in a specific area. Oh, right, good point. We'll see about that. Yeah, it looks decent. It looks very decent. I'd even say decadent. Also starts with D, but quite different meaning. Damn, he's rich. Should have brought your headset with you. Could have played some Shangri-La on a luxurious bed. Esports are not that serious, mate. Okay, so he can log back into Shangri-La if need be. Yeah, that's expensive. And Oikatsu uses it just casually at home. Oh, who's the other teammate, I wonder? Yeah, the teams are of four, yeah. Hmm. Someone we know? What should be Ray? What should be Ray? You're overthinking. Uh, wear a mask. Oh. Oh. Are we set up for some cringe where he pretends to be higher than life? Are we in for some prime grade cringe? How cringe is it? How cringe is it? That's a Borderlands cosplay. uh, yeah, I've seen her in the opening. I don't think she plays Shangri-La, does she? First name basis. Oh, they're about to see something, alright. They're about to see something. They're also a bunch of goofballs in real life. Exactly. Exactly. uh, yeah. Okay. So she's somewhat of a celeb as well. And he just doesn't give a fuck about esports. Or celebrities. Take the fucking mask off. True. Yeah, I mean, you guys beat Weathermon first try, so I can see real players being much more difficult to defeat. Is he still... Yeah, take it off, dude. uh, I mean, it is on brand. He is wearing a mask in game as well, so... Yeah, I mean, if not them, then I don't know who. I mean, I can imagine, like, speed you train IRL gives you some. I mean, no, because it's not like you're wearing a costume that you're moving around. You just play it with your mind. But maybe, like, you get a feeling for a more muscular, stronger body, and you're able to convey it better in game. Hmm. Wow. Oh, so she's the white Kamen Rider. Makes sense. Zodiac Cluster. What would that be? Like a parent company? They're really not taking this seriously, are they? And I think that's gonna be their biggest strength here, right? Like, they're just not gonna sweat it. Yeah, but both Sanraku and Towa are a bit of a wild card, aren't they? Like, they don't exactly go for the meta. They're unpredictable. Dun dun dun. Uh, yeah, the one that Oikatsu was training for. Okay, so it's not like you create your own character, you just like get into the body of one of them, one of the pre-selected ones. What does lore matter here? You just swing your arms. How hard can it be? Okay, so it's not like there's some ladder to climb. It's just like the two top teams that are gonna clash as a promotion for the game. Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. But you already know that tech through and through because you've been playing Shangri-La so much. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All they need to do is for Sanraku to find a character that fits his Shangri-La archetype, and he's got it covered. They're not just any Shangri-La players. Yeah. That Sanraku is still Sanraku. Take the fucking mask off. Yeah. I mean, Kei is still the only one who hasn't found any unique scenario. Sure. Sounds fair. Oh, and it seems we're even gonna squeeze it into this episode. At least partially. Probably yes. Should get the bird mask custom made. uh, I love the music here. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have much of an issue with that. He's really no better than them, is he? Yeah, yeah. Chances are they would. He should at least get this chair as a gift for helping him. But Shangri-La somehow compensates for it. Oh, I thought that's how Shafla is unique. Oh, they are unique. Hmm. Yeah, I can see that actually being a breakthrough in full dive games. Is there a Birdman? Yeah, similar to Sanraku. Yep. Dual wield, lots of mobility. Uh, Sanraku did play that very slow mecha in that mecha game, so he might deal with that as well. That also seems similar to Sanraku's playstyle. Hmm. Yeah. essentially a glass tank. Oh, we know who Pencilgon is taking. There's the spear, there's the dual nature. Her thighs are a fair bit thicker though, so... I mean, thankfully this engine compensates for that. That's not a lot of characters. Unless he only narrowed it down to those. Okay, so next episode then. Who's he gonna pick? Either the old man or someone like completely different from his usual playstyle. Interesting. So like you get, as a hero, you get buffs for defending civilians or something like that. Yeah. You save the girl, you get plus 10 to HP for 15 minutes or whatever, while the villain gets the same for killing civilians and destroying property. I love the shading style here. Very comic book like, and perfect for a game set in comic book world. Oh, so it charges your ultimate or whatever that is. And she's playing Poison Ivy. With even less clothes. Yggdra. From Yggdrasil, I presume. Alright. That was a fun episode. Although mostly an introduction to this new arc. Well, like mid-arc kind of thing. It's really... I already talked about it, but it's really cool and unique about Shangri-La how they have those like mid-arc arcs, right? Like instead of completing the whole Undercity arc and then having the tournament arc, they're just throwing one in the middle of another. Because, as I already said in previous episode, I believe, that's how life works. And it's realistic, and it's relatable. You gotta stop playing a game for a couple of days because you have something else that came up and needs your attention. I like it. This non-linearity really makes the story interesting. Also, I was wondering who that dude in a gas mask is, and that's just Sanraku. It's not some mysterious character, it's just Sanraku, and the gas mask here is also his. Because of course. Because of course. We don't get a mini either. Damn. That's a shame. Let's watch it again though. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Shangri-La opening. Yeah, that's her. And she's probably gonna be playing this dude. That is Meg. Yeah. So people are using VR headsets even like on daily commute, which is interesting. Which really speaks about how far has the technology progressed that it's so tiny and mobile. Okay, so he has some sort of way to talk to Akitsu Akane and Mold. Okay, so they're in like a, I don't know, group on WhatsApp or whatever kind of communicator, or I don't know, their equivalent of Facebook or what have you. But Ray apparently not. Sure. Mm, right, but he has to keep in touch with those two through email. Again, they could really benefit from getting like fucking TeamSpeak server or whatever and just be in it, right? It's, I don't know how much of it is a bit of an oversight, and how much of it is a reflection of like Japanese reality and mentality. I don't know. I've never been in Japan, so I can't really speak on that. But it's not the first time I see that, you know, communicating through email, not having any contact data to your schoolmates or whatever, right? Like, at least here in Poland, the first thing the students do when they come to school is they make a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group or a Discord server or whatever that everybody joins, and they can, like, you know, share their homework or whatever information there, right? It's useful to have that. It's genuinely useful, but I've never seen that happen in an anime. It's always they make a super fucking big deal out of sharing an email. No one shares a phone number, and all communication is also done through email, which is very anachronistic for what we see in this show, right? Like, you'd imagine that they would have like a VR chat in their pocket, right? Or they can go home, turn on VR chat, super ultra full dive VR chat, and just hang out in that space or whatever. But they still just use email. Again, very anachronistic. Feels like a sci-fi setting. Mass Effect really shows that well or badly, depends how you look at it. Mass Effect, super ultra fucking futuristic, future 10,000 years, space travel, time travel, whatever. But every single display is monochromatic and wobbly and noisy, and it just looks worse than a CRT back in the 90s. And it's really anachronistic. Or what was that other anime? Uh, Tokyo 24 Coup, I think it might have been, where again, super futuristic world where artificial brains and real brains hooked up to computers figure out with advanced algorithms the probability of crime in an area and what have you, but their laptops and phones are just fucking bricks. Very anachronistic. Regardless. Yeah, I'm meeting Pencilgon and Oikatsu in person, and that is one fancy hotel. I wonder if it comes with that VR chair, or was it something that Oikatsu bought? Would be interesting if Oikatsu actually gifted this to Sanraku. Right? Like, he has no use for it if he actually bought it and not rented, or it doesn't come with the hotel room. If he actually bought it, might as well just give it to Sanraku for his help. It would be an interesting upgrade to Sanraku's character on a meta level, right? Because Sanraku said that it has like better response time and it's more fluid and whatnot. And Sanraku hit level cap in game, but he can get a boost from being able to control his character better with a chair like that. That would be super cool. 20. Oh, 2,700,000 yen. 2,700,000 yen to US dollars. And that would be 18k, $18,000 and change. Yeah, that's an expensive piece of gear. Although if the pricing of GPUs continues the way it's been going, it could very well be the price of an, NVIDIA RTX 6090 Ti. Wouldn't surprise me. Other teammate. Yeah, it's a 4v4. I'm actually glad that Sanaku went with a mask. I was prepared for much higher levels of cringe. I was prepared for Sanraku, like, playing a persona, right? Like, pouring himself some sparkling water into a wine glass and being like, yes, welcome to my room. How nice to see you. Nice to make your acquaintance. Like, I was fully prepared for some bullshit like that. Comparing to what I was expecting, wearing a mask that could very well pass for a Borderlands cosplay is perfectly fine. There's a bigger reason. Yeah, they are cream of the crop in Shangri-La, and this game uses Shangri-La engine, so chances are they're also gonna be cream of the crop here. Rare out of print marriage. Here I fully expected Kei Oikatsu to notice that yes, it is indeed rare out of print merch, and start fanboying over it, asking Sanraku where did he get his hands on it. But no. No. Megumi Natsume. Top team from the US. Right. Star Rain. I wonder how much their fitness and their bulkiness actually comes into play with the game, right? Because we know that at least the Shangri-La tech allows you to feel in any sort of a body as if it was your own. But I wonder, it's kind of like when a person is paralyzed for an extended period of time, for example, then they sometimes have to relearn how to walk, right? Because they haven't been using their legs, their muscles, that they kind of just have to relearn it. Or after a stroke, or after a badly broken leg that they haven't used in a while, right? There are scenarios like that where you have to kind of relearn it as if it was a new part of your body and functioning completely differently, right? Because you're used to that leg moving as you would imagine it to move, but it just doesn't move that way because it doesn't have the muscles, because it's atrophied so much, because your nerves are not working correctly, and you have to get used to that anew. So I wonder how much your actual like physical shape still influences the game, right? Like if you're not used to your arms being strong, then maybe the punches you pull in the game are not quite as fast and are not quite as strong because you don't know that you could possibly move your hand that fast. But someone strong and fast knows that they can do that, has that sort of movement encoded in their brain, and they can use that same movement in the game. I wonder if the Shangri-La engine also kind of deals with that, or do they still genuinely get some benefit for being so swole? A little cutie pie indeed. Appeared out of nowhere 5 years ago and climbed her way all the way to the top. Yeah. I can't help but keep looking at those new characters through the lens of Shangri-La, kinda. Right? Like, I cannot help but expect, to some degree at least, that Meg and perhaps even Sylvia are going to start playing Shangri-La. I can see Meg starting to play Shangri-La because she loses to Sanraku and Pencil Gon, and she's like, well, shit, apparently playing Shangri-La helps, so I'm gonna start playing it. If Star Rain loses, I could see Sylvia and the rest also deciding to start playing Shangri-La. I wonder where that would go, but I wonder if that would even happen, or is it just my skewed perspective seeing everything with Shangri-La being in the main center of the whole entire story and kind of trying to tie everything to it. It doesn't necessarily have to be tied to it. The strongest pro gamer. Yeah, they really are just a bunch of goofballs. Which I mentioned that it actually might be their strength in the game, that they just don't treat it seriously. They don't opt for whatever is the meta, they just go for whatever is the fun. And every pro player knows perfectly well how to counter every single meta character, but they pick like some rando that who the fuck picks this character? I don't know how to counter it. Nobody among the pro players picks them, but Sanaku did, and he figured out how to utilize their skill set to his benefit. Right? I can fully see that happening. I actually kind of have an example of that from real life. It was in that would be the equivalent of ninth grade, I believe. No, 6th grade. Shit, I can't remember. 9th. Sometime in like in primary school. Primary school or the like senior primary, whatever you call it in English, gymnasium, back when it still existed, because now it's just all primary school, 9 years instead of 3 years, 6 years of primary and 3 years of gymnasium. There's now 8 years of primary and 4 years of high school instead of 3 years of high school. They just shifted it around. Regardless, there was an exam at the end of either the primary school or the gymnasium that I had to write. Well, everybody had to write it. And I went there, completely not worried about anything, because I fully believed that it's just a trial. Right? That we're just writing the trial to let us figure out how to do it, where to put our name, our PESEL number, our everything like that. And the real deal is gonna come one day, so I just went there casually, just wrote it with zero stress, and I did it. I did it really well. Because I didn't stress it whatsoever, because I thought it's just a whatever throwaway exam and the real one is still ahead of me. But no, that was the real one. And if I were stressed, I would probably have done worse. So this could actually be a benefit to them. Yeah, they play Shangri-La at a very, very high level as well. They're not just whatever nobodies that just started playing the game because of the hype. They beat Weathermon. And unbeknownst to everybody else in the room, Sanraku also beat the Lycagon, right? And is about to beat the fucking Tarnid. So, yeah. Okay, so it's just an exhibition team match. I was worried that it's actually gonna take more than 2 days and Sanako might miss or be late for the resolution of that underground city, because I was under the impression that it's like a whole entire tournament, right? That they're gonna have to beat one team and another and climb the ladder, and the USA team is gonna be like, at the top, the final opponent, and that would presumably take more than 2 days. But apparently it's just an exhibition between those two best teams in the world, presumably, or best team in the world and best team in Japan, or however they are ranked. Mostly for the promotion of the game, I'd imagine. Yeah, Shangri-La's engine that they are very much accustomed to. They are a bunch of goofballs. Absolutely. And they can beat your ass, Meg. Watch as 15 years of playing nothing but fighting games just pales in comparison to them playing a bunch of crap in case of Sanraku and then training in Shangri-La. Watch it happen. Yeah, he probably is gonna wear the mask the whole time. Imagine his photos on like the first pages of newspapers. Mysterious stranger in a mask won the tournament. uh, until they learn the quirks of all the characters, it could go either way. Yeah, until they learn the quirks of all the characters, they could win. When they learn the quirks of all characters, they will win. That's what he's implying here. Yeah, in an even fight, yes, probably. Uh, yeah, you don't need to get accustomed to your avatar's body, which is, to be fair, a big breakthrough when it comes to full dives. Dual wielding katanas, fast movement, almost teleporting. That does not seem like Sanraku's playstyle. Heavy, slow, hard hitting. Yeah, not really. This could be Sanraku's playstyle as well, but this is probably who Sylvia is gonna fight, and I don't think we're gonna go for a mirror match, especially since it seems to be villains versus heroes. So if one player picks a hero, the other has to pick a villain, right? I presume that's how it works. So again, no mirror matches. Fairy-like cuteness is merely a facade. Ruthless master of close-range combat with her staff. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? We know exactly who Toa is gonna play. Cyborg Lord, that... I don't think that's gonna be Oikatsu. He's been training with a brawler playstyle in Shangri-La, so I don't think he would go for long range. Galaxia Heroes. That's actually a cool mechanic. If you're a hero, you charge your ultimate bar by saving civilians. If you're a just whole ass cheeks out, all right. If you're a villain, you charge your ultimate bar by harming civilians. Cool mechanic. I love this dotted shading. In general, in Shangri-La, I love the attention to different art styles depending on the game, right? Some are drawn in a more realistic way, some are drawn in a more stylized way, some have this sort of shading, right? It really hints at every single game having a different art style, and I really, really like that little detail. I really think it adds a lot to this like multi-game setup that Shangri-La is going for. And that's it. And that is Sanraku here on the right, and that is Meg with them, and that is Sylvia on the left. Sanraku's character, yeah, there we go. There we go. That was Shangri-La, episode 46. And it was fun seeing them finally meet each other and realize that they're not any different than what they are in the game. Not whatsoever. I like it. I like that they are so, like, true in that. They're not trying to play any persona in the game, they are just themselves. That's cool. I expected a bit more of a, maybe not a touching reunion, but some kind of moment like that, maybe. But that's like whatever, ultimately, just my expectations. Takes nothing away from what we've seen. We get a new character to the team, which is gonna be interesting to see her lose to Sanraku and Pencilgon. Because Sanraku just pulls some forbidden technique out of his ass, or manages to glitch this game because it's not out yet. I'd imagine it's still ahead of a day one patch. So, question is the tournament glitchless or not? Because if it's not glitchless, then we're in for a treat. It served well for an introduction of characters, their dynamics, and what is awaiting us. And that's basically it. that was a fun episode, but didn't really have all that much to talk about. That's gonna come in future episodes as Saraku fights with Meg, as Pencilgon fights with Meg, and finally, as they all, as a team, fight against Sylvia and her team and win, presumably, in some sort of a bullshit asspool way, because wins like that are the most glorious. I fully expect Sanraku to pull a completely unused off meta character and do mad shit with it, and it's gonna be glorious if that happens. So I'm waiting for more, for sure. But right now, that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. If so, say so in the comments down below. No spoilers, please. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. Also, I forgot, subscribe and like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos. Click the bell to be notified of future videos. However that went. But right now, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: Cubies, Rainer, Dr. Watt, Akamancer, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to live in a fancy hotel, but why wouldn't you want to?